Welcome to episode 7 of the Two Chicks Homestead podcast. I am Nate.
And I'm Erin, and we talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land. So what are we talking about today?
I think we're going to talk about some workshops that we've gone to.
It is that time.
It is.
Spring workshops. Specifically, Living Free in Tennessee.
Yep.
And then also the Self-Reliance Fest, the new one.
Yep, the new one that's down in Camden at John Willis's place, Special Operations Equipment.
Yep. So last year in January, I think I was drinking that day.
Slightly.
And decided to buy myself a solo ticket to... Now, we're in Northern Illinois. So I bought a ticket to go to Nicole Sauce's spring workshop at Living Free in Tennessee by myself, without the kids, for the first time in 5 years.
8 years.
8
years. Your
years,
first time away from being...
Both kids, that's true.
Yes, both kids in 8 years.
Yes.
And I think I remember telling you, if you don't buy the ticket, I am going to buy it for you.
So I decided to do it. And I bought it in January. It was at the end of April, so I figured I had a lot of time to prepare myself.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm an introvert, for those that don't know me.
We both are.
So I remember talking to Nicole a couple times going, I really want to come, but I really don't want to talk to anybody. And she pretty much said, you can go off on your own. It's no big deal. Everybody is awkward and doesn't like people either. So that's what kind of made me buy the ticket. But yeah, I bought the ticket by myself. I spent weeks and weeks practicing putting the tent up by myself. And just getting all of the gear together. All the camping stuff.
Yep. Yeah, because we bought a cheap tent from Walmart.
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah, I think we bought it in the summer, because I think we were planning on doing camping with the girls in the summer.
Yep.
We bought the tent. Then you got your sleeping bag and all the other goodies to go down there, blankets and
my little air mattress that I could pump up with my foot. That was a lifesaver.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's a 4-day event, right? Or is it 3 days?
I think it's 4, because it's Tuesday.
Well, it's a Wednesday through Sunday.
Yeah, you got down there Wednesday.
But really, it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday event.
Right, and then you duck out Sunday morning.
Right. So, yeah, I head down there all by myself in my big old truck. And pull in to having no idea. I haven't met any of these people. I've never been here before. So pull in, get myself situated, put my tent up, and go and meet some people.
Yep.
And it was freezing. It had to have been colder there than it was here.
I think it was snowing here a little bit
but
when you went down.
I did run into snow.
It warmed up when you were down there. So, yes, you guys were, 28 to 30 degrees at night?
It was cold. And I remember Nicole saying, well, there's a heated basement, but you have to walk down this road.
Right.
And it was like, I'll just sleep in the tent.
Yep. Well, you toughed it out.
Yes, I did.
You did awesome.
Yep.
I was a little surprised when I cleaned out your truck and realized you just threw the tent in the back of the truck.
It rained the last night, so I just threw it in there.
Yep. And why don't you tell everybody where that tent ended up once you got home?
In the garbage.
Why?
Because I was sleeping in a lake.
Exactly. So we're going to fix that.
Yes. So this workshop was amazing. I don't even think I'd really been listening to Nicole's podcast for very long. Maybe a couple months. Yeah,
we had just started listening to Nicole at that point, and I was getting into a lot of stuff she was doing. She was down in Tennessee, and I wanted you to get out of the house and get some alone time from the girls.
Yep.
So I threatened to buy a ticket for you, or you go yourself.
Yeah. And I was a big girl. I did it all by myself.
Yep, yep. So where that is, it's roughly about an 8.5, 9 hour ride from here.
Yes. So I left here about 8, giving all the girls time to wake up and say goodbye. And I think I got there about 6.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so it was still light out and everything.
Right, right. And it's summertime, so it's supposed to be warmer.
Yeah.
Or spring, and it's supposed to be warmer.
Yeah.
But
so the workshop was amazing. There were a lot of really good speakers. The food. I brought down snacks thinking I would be hungry at night, and I never was. The food was amazing. I met, everybody that was there I met for the first time, and I still talk to them all the time.
Right.
My buddy was Crystal.
Yep. I remember that.
We were the 2 single ladies there, and just kind of clung on to each other.
Yep.
So that was really good.
So what's the one thing you gained out of that?
I think just motivation. Like, it really got my heart pumping about all the stuff that we want to do, and really just being able to talk to people. And I think halfway driving down there, it was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna even talk about? We do in my head it was like, we do nothing. I have a garden and chickens and some rabbits, and it was like, that's nothing. These guys are the big leagues. I'm going to a homestead.
Yeah.
That's real. And then you start talking to people, and you bring up the rabbits, and it's like, wow, that's really cool. We've never done that. And it's like, oh,
you do. Yeah,
to
exactly.
talk about. So it was really nice to kind of get that confidence of knowing that, we're not big, but we do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So one of the things you got to watch was they processed a hog.
Yes. And it was, I don't know that I watched the killing part. I think I was watching watching yogurt. But I did watch everything else, and I got to help, take the hair off, and it was like okay, this is starting now.
Yeah. It's we're gonna go pull them out of the pen, and we're gonna cut them up and cook them.
Yep. So yeah, it was really cool and overwhelming.
Yeah, because we had already done our first hog, right?
Yes, we had done ours.
Yeah, that was the first guy that we did.
Yes. So it was kind of like, okay, I kind of know what to expect a little bit. Mm-hmm. But still, it's always good to learn.
Exactly.
From somebody else.
And it's one of those things you're able to say is, if they ask, say, has anybody ever done it? And you sit there and raise your hand, and you're just the quiet one from the city.
I'm from Illinois. Yeah, but I have a notebook just full of all the notes I took, because I knew I wasn't going to remember much of it. I'd get home and you'd ask me what I learned, and it'd be like,
Yep. Yeah, it was a lot of stuff that you remembered when you brought home, and there's a lot of stuff that you said that you just couldn't remember because there was so much that went down.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in. But, days after you get home, it's like, oh yeah, that's another thing that I remember. And it just kind of started to come up, except for crypto. Crypto will never make it past into my brain.
It's challenging sometimes. Even I have trouble with it. I will admit that.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it was definitely quite an experience. I'm really glad. I was so nervous, but I'm so glad I did it again, or I did it.
Yep.
Last time.
I'm glad you went, because I think it was a confidence booster for you.
Yes, I think at first it was like, oh gosh, I would really look forward to it if I knew you were coming with. Mm-hmm. But I think once I was there, and even after, just thinking about it more, I'm glad you didn't go with the first time because
Right.
I didn't have anybody to hide behind. I was just there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to talk or not. And
Yeah. And that's what I wanted. I wanted you to go so you could get a feeling for that.
yeah.
And I'm glad it worked out that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I really had a good time. So much so that we bought tickets for this year.
Exactly. So we are going down to the LFTN 2022 Spring Workshop. So a little bit more about the workshop. How is that set up?
Nicole does a really good job. So does Tactical and Nighthawk. Everything was really organized, and you were never kind of left, wondering what was going on. You get amazing meals, like, your 3 main meals for the day, and then classes like lined up all day. You kind of can tell, which ones you want to go to. If you're not interested, you go walk around the property. You can walk up and down the little road and check out the flowers and the creek and just kind of see what's going on there. And then there was always little learning stations set up. Like someone was always teaching something.
Like
And
demos.
Yes, yeah, and just kind of some you didn't know what was going on. You just kind of walked into it, and some you knew. So it was even when you weren't like at a class, you were learning like the whole time.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it was just really relaxed but organized and just a lot of fun. And I got to use a composting toilet for the first time.
Yeah.
Which is what we want to do here.
Eventually. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of downtime where you get to meet and talk to these people and, feel like when you're leaving, you're friends. Like you have a community. And I think that's what I'm most excited about this next time is that I remember people. I'm probably not going to remember names because I'm terrible, but it's like I've been talking to these people for a year now after meeting them, and it's going to be really cool to see people in person again.
Right. Absolutely. Other than the confidence booster, how did it help you throughout the year to be able to get down there and do it?
I think it just kind of helped motivate, like hearing what people are doing and what their plans were. It got me home, and it was like, okay, let's go. Gardening season's coming up. We got stuff we want to do, and it just kind of helped motivate and kick us in the butt.
Yep, absolutely. And then it also gave you more of a network of people to talk to.
Yes, that for sure. I mean, I learned what like a real community was, and that's mainly what got us to start our group around here was that community is so close and they help each other and they know that they're there that I really wanted to start something here with that same kind of feeling about it.
Absolutely.
And I know it won't happen overnight.
No.
But you got to start.
Yeah, it might take a few years, or even a few months, few years.
Yeah.
But we're gonna start it anyway and see how it goes.
Yep.
What was your favorite thing about going to the workshop?
I really think it was the community, like feeling like I was part of something. Like all these people are so amazing and they're doing such awesome things that for me to think, wow, I'm part of that was probably the best part.
That's good.
So on top of the Living Free in Tennessee workshop, Nicole started one with John Willis at Special Operations Equipment.
Yep.
And that was last October.
Yep, that was the first one they did.
And we were both planning on going, but I got COVID. And so I was still recovering, and so I told Nate, you're headed out. Yep,
I get to go alone. And I was actually over COVID. I think I had actually given it to you.
Yeah, well, sharing is caring.
Yes. Absolutely. And you were coming out of it. I think you were just you were done with it and just kind of recovering.
Yeah, I think it was just the thought of camping and still kind of feeling
iffy.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you were sick at that point. You were
no, I wasn't. Yeah, just very tired.
Winded and from actually having it for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. All right, I'll move on. Yeah, it was. I left on the Friday morning. I took the little Honda, just to kind of save on gas, and worked my way through Illinois, through Western Kentucky, and then Western Tennessee. And it was a very nice drive to get down there instead of going down I-65.
Yeah, we'll probably take that way next time.
Yep, absolutely. That was definitely a very nice drive, very scenic. I drove through a lot of farm fields and some hills in Kentucky, and it was a beautiful drive.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that one, I ended up camping myself and kind of just set up in the woods and kind of winged it for a couple of days. Brought some beef jerky and some freeze-dried cheese and called it that's dinner.
Yeah, because this was the first one. It was just a day.
Yeah.
And they didn't have food and anything, right?
They did have somebody selling food. It was Melissa White, if I remember.
Okay.
Was selling food. She had a little booth set up. It was very good food.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. I think it was a sausage and a cheese soup. I think that was what it was. That was good. And then Nicole was there. She had coffee. Just earns of coffee all day long. Where that's what kept me going. So it was very nice. It was set up kind of how you were describing it, where you got a bunch of classes going on and you got some demos here and there. One of them was inside, and that was one spot, and that's where I sat through the radio communication one. That was fun. I learned a little bit that I didn't know, so it was good to get into that. And I'd already had my ham radio license by then.
Yeah.
So, and then they had another one underneath a barn, or like a lean-to. That was the other spot. And then they had vendors. They had axe throwing there. That was kind of fun. They had a whole bunch of vendors, 5 or 6 of them, and then they had a bunch of demos.
Yeah.
And then you could also walk John's property and just check it out and see what he's got down there on his 10 acres.
And now it was the first one, so you were camping.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you got put to work.
Yes. I helped at the front gate with Nicole get set up, and I helped Nicole set everything up, which I'm totally fine with. As a matter of fact, I think I probably should have done more for her. But it was definitely nice to get down there early and help get set up and get things moved around. And I was the one in charge to get up bright and early in the morning before everybody else. Well, John beat me up, of course. But, I was the one that turned the coffee on in the morning for the first day. So.
That is a very important job.
Yeah. I did not forget that.
So, what was the biggest thing that you took away from that one?
That was one, same deal. I didn't know anybody down there. Never met anybody. I'd been following John Willis at SOE for years. So I knew his face, but I didn't know him. I didn't know Amanda down there or anybody else. And I just had known Nicole from talking to her.
And we stopped and said hi on our way back from one of our other trips to Tennessee. We go to Tennessee a lot, it seems.
Yep. Earlier, we stopped, talked to her for a few minutes, said hi, and the girls got to meet her. Mm-hmm. And then I met her at Self-Reliance Festival again. And she was really the one that I had met before, and everybody else was new. But I did make the point to wear the Homestead shirt. Mm-hmm. So we had shirts made up with our logo on it. And a lot of people recognize that.
I think we had really started posting more about it. I know I wore a couple to the Living Free in Tennessee workshop, but it really wasn't,
Right.
I mean, a logo really by then.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't, or nor was it even T-shirt weather at that point.
That's true. I was probably wearing hoodies.
Yes. So, but October, it was definitely T-shirt weather, and that's I wore the Homestead shirts, and everybody kind of recognized that because we had been using that logo for our profile picture for a good time now.
Yeah.
And then one of the guys actually came up to me and asked me, "You're Nate. I met your wife at LFTN." He's like, "You want a beer?" It's like, "Okay, I'll come have a beer with you." So Ken, thank you for the beer. That was great. And then Melissa also recognized the logo. Melissa White also recognized the logo and came over and chit-chatted for a little bit. And then Salima also recognized it. She was fun to talk to.
Yes, and I love her product.
Yes. That is a very nice product. We'll drop a link to see if we can get our hands on some of that stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of set up the same way. A lot of motivational talks. One of them was welding. So a guy kind of went over welding and stuff, and then brewing beer, and then Tactical had one on hydroponics. And that's kind of what really got me looking at our system and how we could do it different here.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of walked around a little bit and looking at that. We don't have the pump system. We just have Cracky here right now. But
it is kind of cool to go to these places that you have followed for some time.
Oh, yeah.
And then come home and go, how can I make this better?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the second I pulled on to the SOE lot, I was like starstruck, and I will admit that because I've been following John for 7 or 8 years, and we had never made it down there, and all of a sudden here I am pulling onto his property.
Yeah.
And
that you see in videos, but it's
never the same when you pull on that property.
Yep.
So it was nice to walk in there. It was nice to walk in, shake some hands, and get to know him a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And so then they had another one in February that we didn't make it to.
Right.
And then this next one that we'll both be going to in June.
Yep. Come hell or high water, we are both going in June.
So thank you, Grandma and Grandpa,
yes,
for watching the kids for 2 weekends this spring and summer so that we can escape Illinois for a little while.
Yep, go down to Tennessee and get a nice drive. We'll
come back and bring some nice Tennessee ideas.
Yep. Maybe a few property listings.
Let's not get crazy.
So with some of the workshops that we've gone to, we've considered doing some of our own, just like quick couple hour ones. One of them we were talking about is doing the rabbits.
Doing a rabbit processing class.
Yeah, rabbit processing class. Have 3 or 4 people over if we get a decent amount of rabbits.
Right. That's critical.
Yeah.
To have the right amount.
Right. Absolutely. Then teach people how to process a rabbit and go over kind of raising them. Mm-hmm. I think that would definitely help some people up here.
Yeah. I think a lot of people just don't even consider it an option.
Right. A lot of people don't know what you can get from them.
Yeah.
They just think they're rabbits.
Yeah.
And then the other one we're talking is meat birds, meat bird processing class.
Yep, that one's going to be pretty much for sure. I'd really like to do that.
Yeah. I think we'll get a dozen or maybe 15 Cornish crosses and go that route. Maybe put a half a dozen seats up and see how it goes.
Yeah, come and learn how to process it yourself and get it all bagged up and take it home for your own freezer.
Yep, absolutely. You process it, you bag it, you take it home.
Yep.
It's your chicken. So, but yeah, it's just a couple things we have planning. I mean, that's the main thing is that we both got is the networking, the community, and then the motivation. I mean, once you hit one of these workshops, you are running 1,000 miles an hour as soon as you get home, going,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this.
Yep, and it goes until the next year.
Mm-hmm.
We go again.
Yep, absolutely. So we're definitely looking forward to stuff this year, and we hope we'll see some of you guys there.
Yep.
All right, we'll catch you guys next time.
All right. See you on the homestead where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.